Welcome to Success After Lockdown. Here goes another episode here. Today we're here to talk to three amazing women who have formally changed their life around. We're about to introduce you in a second, but again, I'm Anthony Colon. I'm your host, and my brother to my left is Eric Benson, who has been the vision behind the podcast Success After Lockdown and what it is that we do here. Eric, want to tell us what's our mission statement? What it is that we do?
Success After Lockdown actually entails highlighting, the formerly incarcerated men and women, that's successful in their own right. That's home, and they doing the right things in life. And we actually dispelling that myth that the recidivism rate is so high. So those men and women and those women like yourselves are overlooked. So the first thing they hear is you're formerly incarcerated. They first thing they think is, oh yeah, she back and forth to prison. What they have to offer to society. So my objective for this platform that I've created is to actually highlight those women as yourselves, as those men that's formerly incarcerated, and showing society, showing the youth, showing our communities, that you can be successful out of one's, shortcomings, short downfalls. I don't say we made a mistake. It was a choice we made, whether we was younger or older, but these were choices that we made, and we lived with them. And what do you do from there on? Do you stay in that mindset, or do you grow and develop? So, this is what this platform was created for, and I'm so honored, to be with you three women. I spoke to y'all all through text or email, but I'm just honored to have the chance to be able to sit here and speak to y'all and to actually hear your stories, because a lot of times too, in this society, the women are overlooked, and I'm here to actually make sure that platform is here for y'all, as well as us. And so I want to start by actually, trying to remember who's who right here.
I can do that. Yeah, so we got the beautiful Rosa,
Yes,
beautiful Tracy,
See?
and Jennifer the troublemaker. No, I'm just playing. Lady, I'm going down the road. Actually, introduce yourself. How much time you did? What made you transition your life? At what point? Into what it is that you're doing today? That you don't have to wake up worrying about going back to jail tomorrow or the prison. And thank you for the education that you gave me before the cameras and the podcast came on the proper grammar to use at how we identify ourselves.
Right.
Correct? So let's start with the lovely Rosa.
Hello, I'm Rosa, and this actually is my month of anniversary. I've been home 8 years this June.
Yes.
So, yeah. 7 of them working here in Exodus. I did 7 years as well. So through those 7 years, my transition has been basically working in myself. So I started here in Exodus as a youth counselor / case manager for the reentry side. But when I first came home, I didn't have an idea what I was gonna do. Right? It was basically luck that brought me to Exodus. But throughout all the struggles of being released, I had been home already for almost a year when I came to Exodus. So, and now what I do is I work in Rikers as part of the EVI facilitators. I'm there every day, Monday to Friday, and what I always tell people is that I'm there to bring hope to the detainees that are there. We don't call them inmates,
That's
remember.
Right. That's right.
And my job is just today I was talking to somebody that was asking me, was you ever in an environment like Rikers? Because I was never in Rikers, but I was in other places. And I said, yes. So how do you basically deal with going in there every day and being in that atmosphere? And what I said was that I utilize certain things to empower myself to go in there with the best energy and not think about the triggers from being in the unit that looks like where I've been through and where I was, and just basically keeping my energy clean, right?
Nice.
And how I do that is by meditating and listening to music. On my drive to Rikers, I have my music on blast because it prepares me. Because as soon as you get to the parking lot, you have bumps that you faced, right? You have to stop and show who you are, why you there, and the whole 9 yards every day to get a pass to go inside. Then you have to pass certain checkpoints and certain machines and other stuff, right? They call me the queen of clear bags because now I find clear bags because I need to be comfortable in as well. Like I need to have my keys here. It's my car keys. If something pops up in the unit, I have to leave. At least I could go home. So it's basically preparing myself for the environment. And I'm not gonna say that it's been a success. It's been a lot of setbacks, but I take passion in what I do because giving back and helping people like me, it's what keeps me going. So I would say that that's my success, just helping sisters and brothers that went through what I went, and letting them see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It could be dim. You just got to work on trying to change the light bulb, make it brighter.
Absolutely. And we've been hearing that word all day today, hope.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
I think hope is the key to really success. Right? The minute that we lose hope, that means it's just game over. Right? And no matter how dark or blemish your path is, that as long as you keep some hope, there's always a possibility of changing and getting some light. So thank you for that, because I know if it was me, I don't know how I can do it. I love to give back and I love to do service, but I always say me visiting somebody in jail or working in jail is something that wasn't for me, and it's kind of ironic because I just got approved to go into the juvenile facilities in Florida to go talk to the youth over there, and I've been working on that like for months, and I just got approved to do that. And it's funny how we changed from my mindset of never having to go back into jail. My wife asks me all the time, if I went to prison, would you come visit me? And I kind of hesitate, and she goes, I know you won't. I'd be like, listen, but you make sure you got your money on your books, and I'll make sure that it's traumatizing for me. All right, so thank you for taking that step and still going in and thinking about those brothers and sisters that's in there.
Absolutely.
That you can help. Tracy.
So
Yes.
Rosa, let me ask Rosa a question real quick, because I want to know, like, what inspired you? Where like your growth and development? Where did it come from? Like the inspiration. What time in your life? Like we say that pivotal moment that you actually wanted to make that difference in your own life as well as
others. Well, I got arrested in '99, and I went on the run for 9 years. And in those 9 years, it was a struggle because I basically became a ghost. And people think, that you was running, whatever, you was living life. No, I was really going through a lot of stuff because within myself, I was struggling, right? I couldn't get a job. I couldn't do anything. So I was basically doing other things. And in 2004, I met somebody that was my significant other, and he basically started pushing me to do different things because once he found out that I was on the run, he started getting like scared to lose me, like if you get arrested or whatever. So he started kind of pushing me for change, and I truly appreciate that to this day. But the main point was when I found myself incarcerated, and I had created this persona to be able to survive even on the run for 9 years, right? So I was really aggressive. I wasn't scared of anything. Like, just living life, but and I was like
Reckless.
reckless. And it's crazy because my best friend, mother, may she rest in peace, she named me the turtle. Because I had created a shell that was hard as a rock, but she knew the inside of me, right? And that's exactly how I survived my prison time. But it was a time that I was in there, and I found out that my daughter was struggling out here through some things that she went through. I said, I need to work on myself. I can't go home with this persona, this hard shell, because it's not going to help me, right? And I started basically changing within the prison system. Like, I put myself through certain things that people to this day don't understand. Like, I put myself on a schedule. I wouldn't call my daughter every day like other people would. I call my daughter once a week. I would email her every day just to check how she was doing. And the reason I was doing that was to kind of like program myself, right? To not be needy, to not be stressed, and because I couldn't do anything about what she was going through out here. I'm in there, right? And what I could do was not gonna be good.
Right.
So, my significant other, I programmed him to send me a certain amount of money, not what he wanted, because he wanted to send me money every day. And I said, no, this is what we're gonna do every month. Because I didn't know how my struggle was gonna be out here when I came out, right? I didn't know if I was gonna be able to find a job or work at all. So I programmed myself, and I said, I need to start changing within myself. I started working out, reading books, and preparing myself for what I was gonna face out here. Then when I came out here, that was the third stage, and I started working in Exodus. I had a supervisor, 2 supervisors, that one of them was my best friend, the one that brought me to Exodus. And he told me that I needed to start being open for criticism, because I will get, like,
Fuck that. Fuck that.
And I started basically asking to take certain trainings that will help me on my development and my growth, because I had the tools, but I just didn't know how to use the tools, right? And it's crazy because I said that to Julio Medina one day, that he said, how can I help you to, and I told him, I said, I have the tools. I just need to learn how to utilize the tools, because I'm carrying a backpack full of tools that is heavy as fuck, but I can't use the tools. I don't have the switch to actually turn it on and say, you know what, I got this tool in my backpack, let me get it out.
Right.
So to not react to certain things, and little things like that. So when one day something happened, and my best friend that used to work here and was my supervisor, he sat down with me after work at 8:00 at night, and gave it to me, like, the run around, and gave me a whole bunch of stuff that he was seeing that I wasn't changing or I wasn't working on. It hurt me, and I cried. But I said thank you, because I wouldn't want nobody else to tell me, right? And ever since that day, that's when I started basically doing my development, reading certain things and changing my whole persona, turning the switch off on the personality. Like, basically, the street and the aggressiveness stays in the streets. In here, you need to become something else. Like, you need to think differently and act differently, right? And that's when my work started being more easy for me. Improving. Exactly. My work started talking for itself. I used to get in trouble all the time because as you know.
I think I picked up where
See,
you
what
left
a,
off.
what a friend.
She said she picked up
But
where I
I
left
think,
off.
and I think sometimes that's what we need, right? Sometimes we get mad at the person that tells us the truth and what they see about us, and we want to cut that person off instead of breaking them. Sometimes we need that for someone to tell us exactly the fucking truth about ourselves. You know what I mean? So we can wake up. But yet our mentality, the way that we focus, if you say something that I don't agree with you about, that you're telling me about myself that can help me, I want to be angry with you, I want to cuss you out, and I want to talk so bad about you, right? Instead of taking that and taking a step back and be like, maybe there's something there.
See what a friend's for.
That's
what a
So we
friend's
want to
for.
big up that friend,
Yeah,
that
that-
friend
that-
for you. We want to
that-
big
No,
up that friend.
and you know what's crazy, that it's when you going for so long living like this, and it's a coping mechanism, right? So it becomes your norm. So how do you turn that norm off and bring yourself out of that
Right.
whole persona, right? So it's basically like you acting in front of the cameras. There's no cameras rolling, right? And that's exactly what I had to go through. I had to go through a lot of different changes. Like I felt like oh my God, una mariposa, what's it called? A butterfly, like a butterfly that I have to basically grow
You had
those
to
colorful
morph into it. Yeah,
wings.
you had to go from a caterpillar to a
I had to go through the metaphors to actually become that person that I knew I could be and that was within me, right?
That's that growth and development.
Exactly, but it wasn't easy. I'm
No
telling you,
question. Never
it wasn't.
is.
Never is, you know, because
That's
we're used
right.
to certain things growing up in the city or where we come from, doing something like that. And with that, you know, thank you. Like, thank that person that told you what he
That's
did.
Every
right.
day.
We gonna big
Okay.
up that friend
Every
right
day.
there.
Tracy.
Good evening.
Tracy.
Good evening.
Good evening. How
How
you
you
doing,
doing,
Tracy?
Anthony? I'm well,
Let-
Anthony.
Just real quick, tell me a little bit the same thing, what you're doing, where you from, how much time you did, and what are you doing now for your community, for yourself, to not make sure that you go back to being a detainee.
Definitely, never back.
My name is Tracy Bowe. I'm a case manager for the reentry work readiness program
Okay.
here at Exodus Transitional Community.
Big up to Exodus. You guys are doing like amazing work, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
He took that chance on us, and I'm grateful. I served 26 years in New York State Prison, a product of, using crack cocaine. I came to Exodus. I've been home. This is my anniversary month as well. I came home. I came home June 6, 2017. I've been working for Exodus since June 1st, 2018.
Ooh.
Nice.
So out of my 5 years, I've been here for 4. What brought me here was, of course, for me, my mandates, having to fulfill the mandates of parole. But I always wanted to, from the inception of my incarceration, I wanted to reach out to people. The people I wanted to reach out to was the youth at first. I wanted to tell my story to the youth so that no one, no young adult would have to possibly face what I faced. I got arrested at 23. I turned 24 1 week later on Rikers Island. And I know that my story is not unique. My circumstances may be unique, but my story is not unique. So I wanted to, be that voice for, as I stated, youth. But then I thought about it. There's a lot of adults who need, other people who don't feel like they have them in their corner. So when I came to Exodus, I came as a participant. Rosa was my case manager. And I expressed my desire to want to work here. I started out, I wasn't always a case manager. I started out as an office manager for the Wellness Center, which is the substance use center. I came in one day just because it's a safe place. And I was stopped by one of the vice presidents, and She said, did you get my email? Did you get my voicemail? I said, no, I didn't get either. She was like, okay, well, I wanted you to interview today. You know, I asked that you come interview ready. I said, well, I'm really, really casual. Can I interview anyway? And lo and behold, I was hired. I'm grateful for that. My purpose, I learned a long time ago from being on IOC what part of my purpose was. And part of my purpose is to advocate and assist.
Can you
Right.
tell people what ILC is?
IOC
Yes.
is
Those that don't know.
Yes, IOC is the Inmate Liaison Committee, and that is the group of women and men in the men's prison who sit down with the executive team, the warden, the DEPA security, the DEPA programs, and discuss how to better the quality of life for those who are incarcerated, right? I served on that body for a long time, and they weren't too happy to see me on the body, but because they knew that I wasn't going to be the one to just accept a no. You know, I followed the directives as well as studied the directives, and you know, anything that said may, well, that was a bargaining tool for me with them.
Right.
If it said cannot, will not, okay, I knew I didn't have too many wins with that. But if it said may or, you know, whatever, it gave me leeway.
Possibilities.
That
Yes.
language there.
So yes,
Possibilities.
and I'm grateful for that opportunity. You know, because what it has done for me is it has given me not just a voice for other people, but a voice for myself.
Absolutely.
You know, I was one of those people who sat back all the time and just observed. You know, in some instances in relationships, you know the romantic relationships as well as friendships, you know, I was a doormat, and I'm no longer that doormat. So when I say I kind of picked up where Rosa left off, you know, we have that fire in us that, you know.
This sounds like some inside stuff.
I'm just really
Tell them why.
compassionate, you know. I'm really compassionate, and
You're a turtle.
if something, well, maybe I am a turtle or was a turtle, but you just can't, you know, when something doesn't sound right or sit right with you, you know,
You speak
I've
up.
learned,
That's right.
exactly, I've learned to voice my opinion on it, and sometimes my opinion comes out a little rough to
Our
some
delivery.
others.
Yeah.
Right.
Our delivery.
Our delivery comes out a little. My delivery comes out a little bit rough, but
My
you
wife
know,
likes to use
it's
the
not
word
intentional.
passionate.
There you go.
Yes.
That's,
Yes.
thank you.
And that's okay sometimes. You know why?
That's
Because
what it
guess
is.
what? They got it though. They get
Exactly.
But everybody doesn't get it.
Right. They get it, but then it also, you know, it. Okay, everybody doesn't know how to be professional, so they act on their emotions, and I'm not intentionally trying to
Yeah.
hurt anyone
That's right.
or offend anyone.
it. Some people interpret
But
it
because
different.
because they interpret it with their feelings.
Yeah.
The intelligence.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, but I'm really, really grateful to be here at Exodus. You know, this organization, when we talk about hope, it gives people hope as well as being able to see that light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what my job does, you know, as a case manager. I'm here to assist, empower, and encourage.
Beautiful.
You know, I said that backwards. Assist, encourage, and empower.
It's still okay too.
And a lot of my clients,
Yeah.
yeah, they appreciate it.
They love us.
And we
Yes,
appreciate
it's-
it.
it's just that.
Listen, and we appreciate y'all. You know, I'm sorry that we've been running behind, like on schedule and time, and I definitely want to get to the troublemaker over there.
Sit down. Easy.
Same thing, real quick. We got to wrap it up, but I went here. You know, where you from? How much time you did? You know, how you transition? What are you doing today? You know, to keep yourself from becoming back.
And what inspired you to grow
Yeah.
up, like grow
Don't
your
worry, I was
growth
gonna
and
answer all
development?
your questions only because I see you answering, and I was like, nah, he can't answer me no questions. I'm trying to get one shot out the way, and that's it.
Get it.
Well, I'm from the Bronx.
Okay.
You want to know where I'm from, not nobody else.
Okay.
Troublemaker.
Okay.
I'm from the Bronx.
Oh, he's from the Bronx too, born and
My
raised.
name, I was born and raised. My name is Jennifer Mendez. I served about almost 5 years total, but I did like a 3-year bid, and then like I kind of like broke up everything else. So I did like almost 5 years in the prison and Rikers and like different counties. I had over about 25 cases, 23 misdemeanors, and 2 felonies. So what brought me to Exodus was I felt at one point that I wasn't worth anything, and I always had someone, my best friend, always vouch for me, like, what do you mean? Why you don't feel like that? And I used to be like, because every job I go to, I have to see myself what I am, right? And I'm a felon. And then she was like, no, you don't. And I'm like, well, that's how everybody looks at me. I'm a felon. All I do is crimes. Like, my background is crazy. So when I go to try to make myself seem like I'm good enough for something better, it's just like everything shuts down. Like, I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna go in there and be a manager at Taco Bell. No, you can't be a manager because you got a felon. So you have to be a cashier for the rest of your life. So I started seeing myself in a lot of fast food restaurants. And I always was like, no, I want to be a freaking nurse. I want to do something bigger with my career, not just settle for whatever they give me. But every time I tried to get there, it was always something that pushed me back, which was my felonies. So in the midst of that, she told me, listen, we have a job. It's called Exodus Transitional. I said, okay, I'll look into it. It's a case manager. I was like, but I don't got experience. You don't have to have experience, right? You just have to have the knowledge and be able to help someone. I'm like, all right, that sounds good to me because I'm already doing that. So I went in there just with a mind frame, hoping that nobody judged me and I won't be looked differently. So when I went in the room and everybody was like, hi, this is XYZ, we did a lot of time. I was like, yeah, I'm in the right room. I feel comfortable now because I'm not the only one here that have to feel like I have to kind of secure who I am
Now you feel
because of what I've been through. So then that became, I got hired. I started as a youth mentor. I've been here since March. It became 1.5 years almost. Now I am a case manager for Re-Entry Workforce Program.
That's right, JDJ.
So that, even then, elevating to that position was kind of hard. Because even in the youth department, nobody's seen my growth. And all my life, I felt like I had to be grown for myself. So being in the youth department, I felt myself being a kid and also being professional as an adult to be able to happen. So I was able to give my outside as well to the kids. But nobody seen my growth upstairs. Well, a lot of people didn't. So when I finally went up there, everybody was like, oh, you're hired today, XYZ, right? And then I started killing it. My numbers was going up. My professionalism got bigger. And then I started catching myself, holding, like they said, having this shell, be able to open it up. And I just always wanted to work with the youth. Like Tracy said, that was my thing, and that was my goal, just catching the youth. If I could catch 1 person out of 10, I'm okay, as long as 1 get it. And then I started to learn as I'm in the case manager position that adults need it too. Because I talk to people and they be like, yo, thank you for that. And I be like, damn, this person really appreciates me, just not the kids. And what made me get that light is that I was a human trafficking victim for 7 years. And every time I try to leave, it was always a threat. It was always me getting beat up or anything like that outside of the box. So I was always afraid to leave that situation because of the circumstances. And then when I finally decided to, after 7 years, I'm like, you know what? Either I'm gonna die in it or I'm not. It's either way, it's gonna happen because I was always getting beat up for everything I did, whether I sucked my teeth, blinked the wrong way, said something that wasn't supposed to be appropriate, if I didn't want to get money today, if I didn't want to do anything that made me feel uncomfortable or made me feel like that, I would get beat up for it. And from this day on, sometimes my ear, I can't really hear from one ear because I was in the emergency room so many times. But after 7 years, I was just like, I'm out of here. I can't do this no more. Because he's still beating me up in here anyways, right? So when I decided to leave, a month later, he caught up to me and almost killed me. And I had a setback. And I said, I'm free. I'm finally out that situation, whether if I was almost died or not. But I'm out now. And then as I started with my life, I was transitioning. And my son looked at me one day, and when he see me get beat up, like I came back home, I was kind of broken up, and my brother, everybody's going crazy, like, yo, we gonna kill that nigga when we catch him. They didn't catch him though, the police caught him instead of him. But and then after that, my son sat in my lap. He was 7 years old. I was away from him for like 5 years. He sat in my lap. He said, "Mom, when I get older, I'm gonna kill him." I said, "No, you're not." He said, "Yeah, I am." And then from this day on, he still talks about it. When I see him, I'm gonna kill him. And I'm like, no, because mommy's in a better place now. So I just started seeing my growth, and not only for myself, but for my kids. I have 2 kids and I have a 3-year-old. So I started seeing my growth change. I started seeing my temper calm down. I started seeing me being more patient. I started me being more understanding. And that kind of caught my attention. And I'm like, yeah, like, I want to do something different, right? So now, and then, after all this, a DA called me and was like, Jennifer, I heard you was a victim of, I'm like, how the fuck you know that? They actually knocked on my door right after he beat the shit out of me a month later. So I'm like, closed door right on them, the detectives. They was like, oh, we just want to talk. I don't want to talk to you. I just came out of that situation. Why would I want to talk to you about the situation? I'm not ready for it. So they was like, all right, we'll be back. Literally a year later, they came back. And they knocked on my door again. And they said, we just want to talk. I said, what do you want to talk about? They said, we just want to know, what's your life looking like? Same way I said, your success story. So I was like, listen, I don't want to snitch nobody out. I'm not here for that. But, I'm starting my new life. I'm grown. I kind of grew away from that already. At one point, I couldn't tell my story. I was embarrassed. Now I'm able to open it up. And that was because my best friend for 15 years kind of told me, the only way for you to open up is for you to be able to tell your story. If you can't tell your story, that means because you're still embarrassed of yourself.
Talk about it.
So I was like, you're right. And so the first time I was able to talk about it was with the detectives. I told my story. I was like, I don't really want to snitch on nobody, but this is my story. And the only reason why I'm telling you this story is because I want you to save other women that's in my situation. If you can't do that, I don't want to tell my story. Wow. So I was able to tell my story, and then a lawyer came and was like, I like that. And then little did they know, they kept reaching out, and then now I have 23 misdemeanors cleared.
Wow. That's what's
up. And this is actually family and sanctuaries. They've been helping me. I have 23 misdemeanors cleared. They've been working a lot of felonies. I'm waiting for the 7 years to hit. It's almost 7 years on one charge. I've been released since 2015, May. So, it made 7 years already, well, almost 8 years. So then, ever since then, I got and I started seeing my change. I'm like, damn, 23 misdemeanors just in one court date. All I had to do was show my face. And the judge looked at me and was like, say your story. And I was like, damn, I'm kind of nervous. Say your story. And then the detective called me like 2 weeks later. This person is arrested for pimping and pandering, not just for you, but for other women in the world that they took advantage of.
So you helped other women.
So I didn't believe him. I looked it up.
Wow.
I looked it up, and he was incarcerated. He is not sentenced yet. He's been there almost 2 years. So it felt good. It was like, damn, how many more could y'all save women out here? So my whole success is trying to save people, not just people that just been through what I've been through, but was able to break through everything. Absolutely. Whether if you was, a victim of whatever, whether if you was incarcerated, is learning how to break through. And now I'm a case manager. I'm working on myself every day. I work on myself.
That's right.
But I learned a lot of patience. And because of Exodus, I always thank Julio every time I see him. I'm like, yo, you gave me the opportunity. You didn't have to, but you gave me the shot. You didn't know who I was from a whole other. But I'm here, and every day that I'm here, I change lives.
Right. Every day.
Whether it's one person, 2 persons, but you know what? Somebody changes.
That is just amazing, right? And real quick, I heard that you went from anger, bitterness, and resentment, and having your son have that same anger, hurt, and that mentality want to hurt because mom hurt, right? To you wanting to feel that way and now teaching your son to let it go, right? Move on. Mom's the better spot to starting to love yourself, to setting yourself free, because that anger, that resentment can be a cancer and it can spread, right? And through you and wouldn't allow you to grow and to be the woman that you're going to become. Continue to set the bar a little higher every day.
Every day.
And
Because
I always tell people this, right? Don't feel like it's too late to give up, because I am 31 years old right now, but I'm almost there to get my high school diploma for GD. I'm doing tests. I passed one already. I got 3 more to
Awesome.
go. So I just feel like every time somebody come up to me, be like, listen, I was there. I felt useless one time. I felt like suicidal. I felt like, why do I belong in this world if I can't get a chance? And I always had to fight that battle for myself. And I'm here. I'm not like that anymore. And I'm just,
I want to
I'm gonna keep
congratulate.
growing.
Yeah.
For real, like all you
Whoa.
I'm gonna get out there.
And guess what? I use anger for positive things because it could be done. So I use the anger now to empower me every day to change and to growth, right? And I even talk about this in my groups in Rikers. I tell them, how do we use anger for positive things? And you will be surprised on some of the responses that I get from some of the guys there. So yes, use the anger now for the positive, for your growth, for your everyday mentality to put it up a notch. Like when you're listening to music and you put it up one notch, that's how you use it.
I just look at it the way I came from and what am I accomplished, how much I accomplished, and why should I let that go?
I just wanted to say this one thing. You know, when we get hired here at Exodus, Julio always reinstates with us. You know, you were handpicked. You were handpicked. So I use that with the participants, and I tell them, you know, you might not have been handpicked by man, you were handpicked by God to be here.
Absolutely.
Just like we were handpicked to be here, you were handpicked to be here. So now it's time to take into consideration being good to yourself. You know,
Absolutely.
especially with those who have been, you know, in the streets, doing whatever they're doing in the streets, whether it's just creating crime or addiction. You know, start being good to yourself. You were handpicked to start being good to yourself. You know, and I had one client say to me, you know, I don't think I've ever done anything in my life that was for me. I said, well, this is where you can start. You know, and that's what that's what we're here for. We're here to restore that hope.
So just quickly before we wrap up, right? Because I know, you know, we have kids, you know. We have children that we have to get to.
My son is grown.
But I wanna just congratulate all three of y'all, and also I just wanna apologize to y'all for just a second. You know, I was that ex-drug dealer in the street. You know, I sold drugs from 14 to 20 years old, and you know, I look at it and I look at the devastation that it caused my community. My mother, she was a dope fiend and she died from, you know, from her drug addiction. And, you know, I got it now. Like, I was just blessed because I got it at a young stage in my life. You know, to say that, listen, I'm a part of this universe. I'm a part of this society. I'm a part of this community.
That's right.
You know?
That's like
so
me.
I just
Like
want to
me.
apologize to y'all, you know, just for being that product, you know, of my environment, and for just being that follower. And so I'm just so honored today to be with y'all and to see all of our growth and development here today. This is why this was created, you know. I created this platform here to show your successes in your own right. You know, and I think that this definitely entailed that today, to show each of y'all success in your own right. And I plan on looking forward to, you know, working with y'all in the future. You know,
Absolutely.
Success After Lockdown is not just a podcast. we creating a series, we creating a documentary out of this. And so, you know, I do look forward to actually bringing your story to life, because your story is needed, you know, and you helping
Definitely.
others. All of
Definitely.
that.
I, when you said that women get bypassed or something, it's true. Sometimes women don't want to speak up because our stories is usually of shame, hurt, right? And so many other negative things. Some women, they want to go and shy away and hide and never talk about their conviction or where they've been and what they went through. So I'm glad that you guys are, you know, trying to get us to talk about it and see where we at, because like I said, I was also in the drug business, and that's why I went to prison, right? But that's how I used to make my living. I didn't think that there was another way, you know. Being a hustler, that's what I did, right? Because somebody taught me that, and that's what, you know, how I learned to survive and support my daughter. So just to highlight the women's, because we have a lot of stories out here that needs to be put out.
That's why Success After
Yes.
Lockdown series is
Yes.
coming to a network.
That's right.
That's right. We want to follow y'all in your family and
And we
show
gonna
what you're
motivate some
doing.
lifestyle.
Definitely.
Success.
Come to
Absolutely.
Rikers and follow me so you can see my
Absolutely.
everyday
Sure, I'm
living.
gonna go to
Absolutely.
Florida.
We
Let's
need-
go to Florida.
There you go. Come on
So-
down to Florida. As
What-
you see,
where you at? What
two,
part?
two of my companies.
West
One of
Palm.
them is actually called Hand
You
Over
too?
Hand.
No.
Oh,
Women
Palm
for
Beach.
Women.
Albany,
Okay.
New York.
And another one is called
I was
Beautiful
actually
Beginning.
locked up in
Those are women
Tallahassee,
housings that I have for
Florida.
females struggling with mental illnesses.
In Florida?
In
You
Florida.
gave her a card?
Yeah, get more
Yes.
card.
Okay, if I need a job and I'm going to move to Florida, now I know who to come to.
I'm sure.
He got you.
Absolutely,
Listen,
I
he
got
got
you.
you.
I don't know if I can afford you, but yes, I got you.
Hey, what do you mean?
I do want to thank all our listeners out there that's listening. I want to say that we appreciate you all. We appreciate you, women, for coming out here tonight. Rosa,
Absolutely.
Tracy, and Jennifer. You know, for being open and honest about where you are in your life. And if anyone out there listening has any questions, please email us at successafterlockdown@gmail.com. They can also follow us with
YouTube, Spotify, Anchor. We on Facebook, Apple Podcasts,
All right, so
Spotify, Instagram. So we taking this everywhere. And like I said, I need y'all on that reality series,
Definitely.
because it ain't. This is
Can I act
not.
like Cardi B?
No, you can act like
No.
Jennifer.
You're gonna
Be
act like
Jennifer. Look, be
She
Jennifer.
said no.
Jennifer is unique.
You
And
know,
so with that said,
Thank you for having
like,
us.
keep
Appreciate
sharing
y'all.
the light, right? Because we all found our purpose in what we're doing.
Amen.
Okay, that's what this is. This is our purpose. We could be doing 1,000 other things, but God chose us to do
That's right.
what we're doing because there's someone out there.
That's right.
Whether you walk into Rikers Island, whether there's someone coming in through here that you stumble through here, whether there's some woman that's dealing with such trauma, who's so embarrassed and so sheltered by that don't want to speak about it,
Yep.
and it continues to allow it to continue to happen. It is now recently that the human trafficking is now becoming something that they
It's
make aware
highlighted.
of. When it's been going on for years.
Yes.
forever,
Right.
no
For
question.
years. And now it's starting to come to light, and it's only going to come to light when women find that strength, they voice to
To
say,
talk
hey,
about it.
Right.
set yourself free. So thank you, Mama.
And you telling your stories.
Yes, thank you. Thank